part 3 of making your animal, putting the legs in. So as you can see, I have my potato shape that I started off with. We took about 1/3 of that clay potato and I started to pull out the head from the body so that it's slightly skinnier. We talked about how the neck must stay really thick. No animal that we use the clay fetish for, the neck is going to get really tiny or thin. A chance for it to break too. The animal's neck is really pretty much as thick as the body, no matter which one you choose. And you can see my examples here. So now that we have the neck and the head pulled out from the rest of the body, you find the side of the potato that kind of looks the flattest. So when I'm looking at mine, it seems like I would say this side tends to be flat. So here's where you need your tongue depressor, would work really well, or a popsicle stick, or even like a plastic knife. You don't want to use the serrated edge, you want to use the flat edge. And what you're going to do is about a little bit more than halfway down the body, I'm going to press the tongue depressor in vertically, and then I'm going to press it in horizontally. These are going to become the legs of my animal. And if you think about the legs on an animal, and if you had to break it down into geometric shapes, what shape would they be? Well, a cylinder, right? A cylinder is like that long circular type of a tube. Now the back legs on an animal are always thicker and bigger than the ones on the front. Think about your pet dog at home if you have one. The back legs look really meaty, almost look like a drumstick, where the front ones are slightly smaller. I'm going to pull and pinch one leg at a time out of that cross that I made to start to make a cylinder. And notice my hands are getting really dirty now, full of clay, and that's how it should be when you're doing a clay project. Your hands do get dirty sometimes. Dirt is good. It's kind of like a sign that you're really being creative and getting into whatever material that you're using. Okay, so now you can see I have those cylinders slightly formed there. Not perfect or anything. Now I'm going to, again, pinch and pull out. You can see I'm kind of pinching a circle here, going around with my finger, making kind of like a fingerprint. You could start to see that cylinder or that circle shape start to form, and I'm going to do the same thing. So the method that you're using here to make your fetish is called carving away. Think about when you make a jack-o'-lantern, or maybe you saw a Native American totem pole. They started with a piece of material and then they took away whatever they didn't need. Now I don't have any scraps in front of me yet. That's because I'm just pulling and pinching out the clay that's already there. So once you see those 4 legs starting to form, then I'll put just a little bit of water on my hand and then I'll start to smooth. I can push down slightly on the leg and that creates that cylinder form. I don't want too much space in between each leg. I don't want them on the side of the body. We're actually looking at the belly right now of the animal. So you're just going to smooth. You can bring some of that neck portion back into the leg like I'm doing. Pinching, pressing down a little bit, and getting those really short cylinders. Now, if you're making a horse, let's say, or a ram, their legs might be slightly longer, but you don't want them too skinny where it's going to cause breakage in your project. So I'm just going to keep smoothing, pushing down slightly, and with any sculpture you should always look at it from all directions. Once you look at it from all directions, then you can see, is it even? Now the legs are key to having balance in your work. We had talked about the principle of art of balance. If your project is not balanced and it keeps falling over, then you got to make some changes. You got to go back and you have to edit. So I'm going to keep working on my legs, as you can see, pressing down, and smoothing, keeping that round look, that cylinder look of the leg. You don't want to get rid of the butt of the animal. They need that to sit on. So just a tiny bit of water, smoothing and forming the legs. So I'll show you the one that I already worked on. You can see mine right here, where I really kind of took the time, smoothed all the legs out, and I tried to make them even. Now when I look at it from all sides though, you can see an issue here with this one leg. It's sort of flat and it's a little bit bigger than the other legs. It's taller. And if I tried to put that down, my fetish is going to be lopsided. So that's when a pin tool will come really in handy here, where I could use it as a little bit cutter, and I could, what they do is carve away. I can edit my clay piece a little bit. Now I could take off that extra that I don't need anymore. And notice I just took off a little. I didn't edit it too much. Take a little off at a time, because once it's gone, it's gone. We're not adding in any clay back into our project. So this is called the subtractive method, taking away something. Additive is when you add on. Think of additive like making a snowman. You're adding pieces. This we're taking away, pushing and pulling, or possibly even cutting off. So this is looking a little bit more even now. Again, I want to check the height to make sure that it's balanced. When you see some of the finished pieces, you'll see like my little bears, the legs are really close to one another and they're really short in stature. Same thing with my turtle, really short in stature. Nice way that we have a nice division here of space, not too far apart, not too close. But then we have my little coyote here, and his legs are longer than the bear. You could see the difference there. A little taller, but still as thick as the body. Thickness is key, right?